Howdy, it's Safi and Marco, Dish Out on the Movies. And tonight we're here to talk about Masterchef.
Let's get it over with, Safi. So, now we're gonna... And here's the thing. We didn't want to rush through. But they decided to start doing 2 episodes a week, which is a big pain in the ass. It's already hard enough reviewing 1 episode of it, but now we have to review 2 at the same time. Because of them. That really sucks. So, we have 2 here. They both had similar things happen in them, surprisingly, where, you saw a couple things. Number 1, Dara, the problem, gets a free pass for anything she does. Number 2, Fred, since Brie Cheese is gone, he is just out of... He's out
of sync and
he's out of gas.
He doesn't have the same spirit, I don't think.
Yeah, it's like, since he can't stare at Brie's ponytail, it's too hard for him. He cannot handle it. So, and it's too bad because this show is about you, yourself. It's not about somebody else that you're there with. Mm-hmm. So it's pretty sad that I thought he was pretty good, so it's too bad he didn't go further. So we have 1 episode where they do a tag team challenge, and then they have another episode where they do a Grubhub challenge, which was basically centered around promoting Grubhub. Which, honestly, I would never, ever, ever pay for a delivery service because...
Well, we have when we're out of town. We have them come to the hotel, so we don't have to go driving to some...
But they're just so overly expensive, and, it's just a huge waste of money nowadays. So, that was what it was all about. They had to take a dish from Grubhub and elevate it.
These are the dishes, the most popular dishes that Americans find the best. And so they had what do you think it was? Was it like 5? They had 5 dishes, an assorted meal in 5 bags, something like that. And so nobody knew what was in the bags. There was nothing to suggest anything. And so...
You know what was not surprising, Safi?
What?
There wasn't any Ethiopian food.
Have to have the restaurant.
Nobody in America is ordering Ethiopian food to the point of where it would be popular, and yet they sent Shane home for no reason. So.
Yeah, they got deer in the headlights. Cooking,
Dara in the headlights.
Cooking what she cooks all the time at home, getting a free pass, and sliding by. I don't get it.
Well, let's start off with the first episode. So we have Tag Team.
Okay, yeah, that's the first one. It's very stressful. I don't care who does it. It's an adult or a kid. That kind of challenge where you have one person cooking, and then so many minutes go by, and then the second person jumps in there, and the first person goes out and kind of tells them what to do.
Okay. Well, I thought that the tag team challenge was not stressful because you had certain duos, and it was obvious of who was doing bad and who was doing good. Like, there was the one with Michael! That's how Gordon says his name. Did you notice that, Safi? Like, he doesn't say Michael. He says, Michael! And it's like, okay, we know he's going to win this season if Gordon says his name like, Michael!
Yeah, we saw the commercial again, too. And it showed him, and only him.
Yeah.
And I think he's going to be the winner.
It sort of reminds me of in that one season where they had that really overrated Cesar. And Aaron liked to say that he liked to go like, Cesar! He really liked to, hype up his name and treat him like he's a wrestling competitor. So, but you had like him, Michael, and D-Rick, which I don't know what to call him because Safi, she's just so biased against him because she hates his haircut. And so you got to figure out like what should we call him based on his haircut?
Well, he just seems very plastic. He reminds me of a boy doll.
Well, he's very overly serious to me.
Yeah,
but
he is.
There's some times where it's like really cool, like in that grilling one where that bitch wouldn't choose him because he's white. And so then he's like, oh, okay, I'm going to go on Brie Cheese's team and cook a perfect service. And he destroyed it, and he embarrassed the shit out of that segregationalist woman. So
she deserved it because of her attitude.
So Michael and Haircut, they did a really good job, and they really didn't have any issues, hardly at all.
No, they did really well.
And we could tell that because the editors, they couldn't really find any video clips to show of them having a bad time.
Yeah.
And that's how you know. The editing. Because the editors, they have to take the best footage and put it in the episode. So even though Shanika, Fake Face, and Bowen, you thought they were going to do really badly based on the footage, the amount of footage they showed, but it was really just because they had that great footage and they had to do like a bait and switch. And I gotta be honest, I thought that was the best part of the episode.
Really?
I thought it was funny watching her work with him because he's so quiet and she's so loud, and it was really funny. Like near the end when she was like yelling at him and he was just like, okay. Like he was really scared of her, like she's gonna come over and give him a whooping or something. Give him a whooping with a spatula. And he was very scared of her, and it was really funny. Would you be scared of her, Safi?
No.
Why? She could eat you. She would do that. Like Fake Face, she said she had to lose weight, so she got all these vegan recipes to lose weight.
Oh.
Safi, she seems like I would be scared she would like eat you, like just anyone. Like she would be the perfect if you ever cast a human Godzilla. She would be like the perfect Godzilla. Because I could just imagine her like eating the universe. Right, Safi?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Hope Marco's not doing personal attacks again.
No, I just don't know what to talk about with this episode.
She was on very good behavior the entire night. I don't think she was bad at all. For a change. She
was so much better than she's been, and I was just saying that team was the best part to watch. Everyone else was pretty terrible to watch.
Yeah, they were not good in tag team for the most part.
It was sad how bad Emily did because she's definitely the number second best competitor there. And she did a terrible job with that Gabriel. Of course, the overrated Gabriel. And he is one of the ones who just flew under the radar. And I knew that first episode where he did that terrible Italian dish, I knew he should have been sent home. And so finally they sent him home this time.
Now Dara can go next.
Well, I don't know. They just want to...
I know. Every time I think they're going to get rid of her, she's able to slide by on her magic carpet.
Talk louder, Safi. They can't hear you.
Oh, really? Okay. Yeah. Well, I'm tired of Dara sliding by on her magic carpet.
Yeah, I mean, they might as well just give her Masterchef now if they're just going to give her free passes every episode.
She's
Like
not
she's
that good. She's not as good
celebrity.
as some of these other people. Because you know what? All she does, and she admitted it tonight, is cook things
That's the
that
second
she cooks
half.
at home.
Sophie, we're talking about the first one.
Well,
You
she
need to
was
stop
in that.
jumping ahead.
She did the same thing then in that episode as she's done in every
We're talking about the
previous
tag
one.
team.
I'm talking about the
Well, I'm talking about the tag team now.
deer in the headlights. But she had that. But she was freaking out doing that one.
Oh, Sophie, she was obviously having, you know.
Oh my lord! She had her deer in the headlights. Look, and she was, and
What day of the month was this filmed on?
hell if I know. I don't know. Marco's gonna. It's kind of late. I didn't realize we're gonna have to do 2 episodes.
I didn't want to. I didn't want to watch 2 episodes at all.
No, I'd rather string it out, but it's because of all the.
But, you know, she always acts like that. Like, she, in MasterChef Junior Season 1, she acted like a huge bitch. And she discriminated against that little girl, Sarah, or whatever the fuck. She discriminated against her because she was younger than her.
Yeah, and she didn't act. She's completely different now.
She was the worst. And
she was mean.
And now she acts like a nervous breakdown who, like, can't even handle, like, frying an egg. Like, she acts like the world ends because an egg is gonna land in the pan in the wrong direction. Like, she's really... it's really bad. Like, it's really, really bad. You can just clearly tell. And it's funny and sort of ironic because now she's the one who's younger and more inexperienced than all the other people. So now they can discriminate against her for being younger than them. And she can see how it feels. It's just too bad that they didn't have that piece of shit Troy on there too. Teach him a lesson. So,
Really?
the actor.
Yeah.
The fake chef. So, and then what other teams were there? There was the, what other teams were there worth talking about? I don't know.
Well, yeah.
Christian and Brandy, I guess. I mean, there's not really much to talk about.
No. Everybody did pretty well. I mean, I think they were nervous. And what did they have to do? Was this...
They had to cook a 3-course meal.
Okay, and one of them was, guess what?
Mushroom risotto, beef Wellington, and...
Wellington.
Pear tartar, or...
It's a pear
Tartatan or something. Titani!
It's pears, but Gordon prefers the pears to be cooked on their bellies.
Yeah, Chef Gordon wants them to be cooked a certain way. So they will be cooked a certain way.
You're looking at the back of them
They're
in
like,
the pan.
oh no, the pears are not faced upside down, so I am going to have what's known as a Chef Gordon temper tantrum. And then they had this hilarious thing where Sleepy Joe, he said that this beef Wellington that Emily and Gabriel cooked, he said that it was like medium, and she's like, I think it's rare, and he's like, no, I think it's medium. And she's like, oh, can't we just agree on medium rare? And he's like, no.
No.
It was just
He's real mean about it, too.
It was just this really gay thing where it's like just this obsession with the temperature of the beef Wellington.
Like any beef.
The fact that, oh no, it's not medium rare. Who cares?
I know. Just to me, that's like a waste of time.
It's really queer. And it was so pretentious, and you could feel like, I don't know, it was weird too because it was not rare. Like, you could tell it was not rare. So I don't know why, I think maybe Emily was joking?
I don't know.
You think she was joking?
I thought she was serious. Well, she was just calling us bluff. He was trying to rattle her and, like pick on her, like she did something wrong. And she was like, yeah, I've got your number, bud.
Well, I was gonna say, like, I don't think Emily's got jokes. You know, I don't think she's one of those types. You know, she's too serious. You know, why so serious, Emily? She doesn't got jokes. So, the person who ended up going home was, of course, the overrated Gabriel. Thank God, finally. But it was sad because Dara skated by. And her and Fred did a terrible job. Terrible, terrible job. And it's really unfortunate because it felt like they really let her skate by.
Again. And it's irritating me. Because it's not that what she cooks is bad. It's the fact that she even admitted this. She cooked this at home almost her whole life.
Safi, this is the tag team one. It has nothing to do with that.
Okay.
What are you talking about?
Well, anyway, I'm just sick of her getting away with everything. Whether she was in a tag team or not, it didn't turn out as well as they had hoped.
No, it was like the worst dish there. And then they said, your dish is not as bad as Emily and Gabriel's, which is like...
I don't agree.
I don't know.
I thought it was pretty much the same.
Let's give Emily a pass first. I give the tag team episode a C-. There really wasn't much to say. It's just so middle of the road, and it really wasn't that exciting.
No.
Nowhere near as good as the Masterchef Junior one, where they did the WrestleMania thing, and you know, they had that one wrestler, and he hit that little girl in the head with the pan. That was hilarious.
That was an accident.
With My Fair Masterchef Jr.
He didn't do it on purpose.
You know, he slammed the pan right into her head like he was doing a wrestling move. And it was one of the funniest things ever because it's like...
Well, she was laughing. The little girl was laughing.
She liked it. She acted like she does that all the time at home.
Nah. I kind of doubt it.
Wouldn't that be funny if she did that at home?
I doubt it. Okay, well, let's see. What would I give it? I think I'd give it about the same thing. I'd just give it a C. I thought it was pretty average, and not much happened, and it's I don't know. It just wasn't that. It wasn't that thrilling. I didn't care for it that much.
They tried to make all this artificial drama with, as I said before, Fake Face and Bowen.
Yeah.
But they're really, as soon as I heard Fake Face, she let slip that she helped Bowen open up his restaurant for 10 months.
Oh,
She was in his
that.
restaurant for 10 months working with him.
Oh.
So she knew how to work with him well. And I thought, oh, as soon as I heard that, I knew there's no way they're going home. Because she's worked with him before. So that was something that I thought really took away from the stakes of the episode. Like, just thinking about how much they advertised too with the trailer of that team specifically being a shitty team.
Oh, that's interesting.
So the Grubhub challenge was another middle of the road thing.
Yeah.
It really wasn't a good challenge idea, honestly. It was kind of like it was weird because they said to elevate the dishes, and a lot of them, what they did was instead of elevating the dishes, they made like entirely separate dishes that had nothing to do with the original dishes.
I thought it was kind of an impossible challenge.
Though it was hard, but you know, they're chefs, so
You only had 45 minutes too. They cut off their time, so they have even less time to work with than they usually did. So that's hard.
And now,
a few of them, I mean, some people can't get creative on the spot like that. They need some time to ruminate over it. And Fred is probably one of those.
I don't know.
And,
well, Fred got spaghetti, my favorite food. To be fair, though, I don't like meatballs in my spaghetti,
and
usually.
that was pretty, they were the big kind, too.
So what Fred did was he made pot stickers with, like, meatball filling. And it was a terrible idea. Terrible idea. It was similar to Brie Cheese's peanut butter gravy shrimp California rolls or whatever that. Remember that, Safi?
Yeah.
It was similar to that, where like I felt like these pot stickers would be on an episode of Kitchen Nightmares with Chef Gordon eating them and throwing up.
I think Fred just was at a loss. He just couldn't think of something better, and he was stressed out. I mean, he's really very calm, but this time he was a little bit stressed out. They showed his hands. His hands were shaking, and he was trying, but he just you could tell he just did not have any ideas. And I'm thinking that I have no idea. I wouldn't know what to make. See, they don't see, like I said, they had these bags, and they picked one, and then they opened it up, and then...
Yeah, it was all random.
Yes, it was very random, and what they would do is they'd open the bag, and then, Gordon would say, "What did you get, Fred? What did you get, Emily?" And they said, "I got," and they pulled it out.
Really?
And she said...
Speak up, Safi.
What?
Speak up.
I am.
You're not.
So, Fred said, "Well, I got pot stickers and whatever," and the African-American guy who was the other weak guy and didn't do well.
What are you talking about?
Willie.
Yeah, that's his name, Safi.
He had...
Respect him.
I don't know all those names.
You just did. You know his name. You just admitted it.
I said I don't know all those names.
I'll name them all.
Oh, God.
So Big Willie, he had another bizarre idea.
It was involving meatballs.
It was the dish was orange chicken and fried rice. That is something everyone gets at Panda Express. That's for damn sure. I like to go there and get orange chicken and walnut shrimp. And in fact, I like it so much that the year before last, I got it on my birthday. And I wanted to have that on my birthday. It wasn't a very good idea to do that, but it's very, very tasty. Their orange chicken. And he chose to do the most bizarre thing where he made orange chicken meatballs, or they weren't even orange, but they had like an orange glaze underneath them, and it was like, oh, what is this? This is like a weird appetizer that you'd serve at a Christmas party in some out-of-touch weirdo's house. Like, someone who, like, I don't know, like just some weird place, like just really weird. It really had no relevance to orange chicken. Like when I'm thinking about, this is the key question here. If that same person who ordered orange chicken and fried rice, if they got served those meatballs with orange glaze underneath them, would they be satisfied with that? No.
I don't think so. I think it'd be like, is that it?
Yeah, they'd be like, no. Give me that huge container of orange chicken and fried rice.
Yeah, I'd rather have that.
And same with Fred. Spaghetti's my favorite food. If Fred handed me those pot stickers with spaghetti, and with meatball filling, I would say, Fred, you're in deep trouble, and I am going to order a mafia-style assassination on you for screwing up spaghetti. Like, that's how mad that I would be. Like, that's how mad people get when you screw up their favorite foods. And so...
Sorry.
Really terrible choices. And of course, Safi just caught a... She just got a...
It was the two worst things you could ever come up with out of everybody.
Yeah.
I mean, there was chicken and waffles, which I don't know what she did that was so different other than make it look smaller. And then Dara had something which...
Oh, you want to get to Dara? Dara.
Which she just said something about... And she even admitted it. She did not elevate the dish. She said, I didn't need to do that. The flavors were good enough or something. I just made them
take a drink before better. Take a drink before you speak so that you don't waste tape. Dara got buttered chicken, and apparently it's a dish she eats and makes all the time.
Ew, it sounds gross. I love chicken. I eat tons of chicken. The buttered chicken? Now, what does that even mean?
At least it's not buttered Dara.
But she makes that all the time?
That's the future, Safi.
Buttered chicken?
No, like, you go to a restaurant in the future, and instead of, like, hamburger, it's gonna be Tony Burger. And instead of, like, orange chicken, it'll be orange Dara. And it'll be like, cannibalism.
Oh, God. Okay, Marco's tired, obviously. We're tired, it's late.
Well, she got this dish she makes all the time.
Which freaks me out. It pisses me off.
It was so reminiscent of Masterchef Junior, when the other little Asian girl, she... for the finale or the semifinal, she chose to make a dish she makes all the time. Or all the time she made dishes like that. Like, she's like, I'm making dumplings today. I got taught how to do that all the time I grew up. And so that's what I'm making today.
And what kills me is they have Chef Ramsay. I'm not even going to say the other two because it's mainly him. He's bitched and complained about participants who made the same thing they've made a million times at home. They said it wasn't original or creative. A million times I've heard him complaining.
Playing it safe.
Playing it safe. That's another thing.
And if she couldn't do it with Chinese food, she's going to do the same thing with Indian food. They told her, elevate the dish, Dara. And she said, I don't know what elevate means. So I'm going to just honor the traditional dish. That's what she said. She's going to honor the traditional dish by not elevating it, even though that's the fucking challenge.
And so everybody else was required to do it, but she wasn't.
Yeah. And her version of elevating was like making the rice spicy, which to me is like just a customization, and adding like a chapati bread and then something else,
which is real easy to make.
And so those couple of things, like, that's not really elevating anything.
No.
And yet and especially Joe.
I was shocked that he was so enthusiastic about what she did.
I thought he was being sarcastic, but I guess he wasn't.
No, he wasn't.
He said, Dara here, she took a dish that, it's like a home-style Indian dish, and she has transformed it into a restaurant-quality dish. And it's like,
oh, please.
Oh, my God. Joe's standards have really gone down the drain. Like, he's...
No, they just... Did they have to say that, like, every single time? And if they don't say it, like, a certain amount of times, they have to add it in? Like, you didn't say this is like a restaurant quality dish. You didn't say it your 5 times. or it wasn't said 5 times in the episode, so we better catch up.
Yeah, well,
Just ridiculous.
well, there were a couple of times when Joe was judging the dishes to decide which ones to taste, and he was doing like the typical things he does, where he like shakes his head or something, and doing all these like snarky things with his face.
Yeah, he's the king of snark.
So, who did the best again? Michael? I can't remember, but Dara, they put Dara in the top 3, which was like an embarrassment. And then it was like, oh God, is she gonna get the immunity?
I think it was Michael, her, and Derek.
Oh wait, no, it was Derek, wasn't it?
I think
because
so.
he had this
because
really
he'd never gotten it before.
he had this really intense thing where he didn't know if his lobster was gonna be done, and it was perfectly cooked, so they gave it to him, and I thought that was cool because, he finally got it, and so I guess that was good, but I still just felt like the episode, in terms of entertainment, was really kind of middle of the road, especially having to sit there and watch Dara just like cruise through the competition. I mean, honestly, I think she's worse than Mafia Don.
I don't.
Or Masterchef Junior.
I just think that
Because
she's being allowed to get away with mediocre cooking.
you don't fully develop until you're like 25, and so Mafia Don has a long way to go. Dara is very close to being fully developed, and so it's pretty scary that this is what she's turned out to be in the show.
I don't know what you mean by that. She's not.
Well, like, Mafia Don has a lot more growing up to do, and Dara is pretty much set in her ways. She's doing the typical thing where, like, she plays it safe.
Yeah, okay.
All the time.
Okay.
Like, Mafia Don, he made some strange choices. Like, remember the turd bar, Safi?
Yeah, okay.
Remember the turd bar?
Yeah, okay. I just want to get this over with.
He should have served those to Amber Heard at the trial.
I don't like these episodes that are mediocre and plain and drab and
it's funny because, like, see, I'd much rather watch them taste all the dishes than watch these types of episodes where they're just like boring. And for this one too, they didn't even taste the top 3 worst dishes. They only tasted the top 2 worst dishes.
Yeah, I didn't understand that. I know it was something about the number of people. It was odd, but I still didn't get it.
I give the episode a C- once again.
I just give it a C. I don't know what else to say about it. Except Grubhub. Those are supposed to be their most popular meals that are ordered by Americans in this country. And what were they? Let's see. There was I just want to make sure.
Ramen.
There were ramen, which
hamburger.
People really order ramen. That's something you can cook in the kitchen for $1.
No, Safi, it's like professional ramen, like,
I don't know.
with all the fixings in them.
I've been anywhere where they served it.
Oh, Safi, maybe you should be schooled in ramen.
No, it's the problem. We live in the effing desert of cooking. It's terrible. Well, they also had chicken and waffles, and like I said, it looked good, but the thing is, it just looked like a smaller cut. You know how a waffle can be squared, and they have 4 squares, and you can cut it into fourths, and they're all perfectly square. Well, it looked like she cut one up into fourths, and put a little piece of chicken on each one, and that was what she. And I'm like, what is that? How is that uplifting or whatever? But whatever. It doesn't matter.
And Safi, Fred went home, and of course, Dara was very upset that an Asian person was going home. In fact, we forgot to mention in the team challenge, they segregated themselves again. Of course, Dara and Fred, they purposefully got together to, because they're the same. Because, even, I think one of them's Chinese and one of them's like Korean or something, but they're the same. And so they had to band together, and they were a terrible team, too.
Yeah.
Like, it was really funny because Fred said he watched her in MasterChef Junior, and it's like, well, if I had watched her in MasterChef Junior, which I did, I wouldn't really want to put her on my team, would I?
Well, I think they did that real fast. This was a thing, not where it was a locker room pick or whatever, or dodgeball kick.
No, they just picked teams like normal people, where they just naturally...
They just turned around and just picked somebody behind them or whatever. It was very random, but it was just like they're all standing together. It's kind of like, I don't know if anybody's ever gone to like a church or something where they say, why don't you meet your neighbor, or some kind of weird thing like that. And you turn to somebody behind you and into your side and you shake hands.
No, Safi, this is what it's like. Look to your left, look to your right, look behind you. One of those three people will eventually suffer from AIDS.
Oh, God. I don't know what he's doing. I guess because he's tired.
One of them will eventually be a drug addict. Something like that, where it's like, look to your left, look to your right, look behind you. One of those people in your lifetime will eventually become addicted to drugs.
Well, what was
Doesn't
interesting...
that scare you?
What was interesting about... I have never seen them do that. Ever. Never seen them. They always have to do this team picking thing where I want this person on my team because they're really good at cooking eggs. I want this person on my team because they're really good at grilling. I think this person did a really good dessert, so therefore I think they'd be great on my team. That's what it usually is, and that's very annoying too. This was very quick, and they all had great attitudes. I mean, certain people were together that I never would have thought of been together in my life, but they were like, they were cool with it, and they just went with the flow. Well, that's the way to be. It really is.
And Fred finally got home. It could tell as soon as Brie Cheese goes home, he automatically runs out his team, and he goes, bye-bye. And so, okay, bye-bye.
That's a shame.
Go home and be with Brie Cheese.
He was a very good cook, and he did,
it's too bad.
He was very creative and careful.
Very unfortunate.
He made very good dishes. I don't think he ever got that immunity pin. But
he was not a segregationalist. He was not a bad person.
He had a great attitude. He's very supportive of everybody. And had a very positive attitude.
Yeah, it's too bad that he wasn't at least in the top 3, because I think that he deserved to go up to that level. I would say, personally, my favorite chef is probably Christian. Your stomach rumbled as soon as I said Christian.
Well, he's very intense.
Yeah.
Very intense and very serious. But he actually, he cooked with Brandy. Was that the person?
Yeah.
And she was kind of a little bit of a nervous wreck. She knows how he is. She said that.
Well, I wouldn't want to be on a team with him, even though I think he is the best there. No, I wouldn't want to.
Because he's so intense, you feel like if you don't do whatever it is right, he's going to blow up.
He's just better alone. He's more of a solo person.
Yeah. But they still got along, and they actually did really well. So... Didn't they?
Yeah, pretty well. Yeah.
It was okay.
I did better than Dara and Fred.
Yeah.
And then second place is Emily, of course, who's always been better than most chefs there.
Yeah.
And third would probably be Michael.
Yeah, Michael, and we think Michael is probably going to win the competition because we keep seeing this commercial. It's the second time we've seen it.
They show 3 other MasterChef winners, and then they show Michael at the end.
Why would they show Michael?
Well, here's the thing, Safi. This is another sad thing, is that, what if Grubhub, what if they didn't have any agreement on when to air this commercial with the network, and so Grubhub could air it anytime they want. So therefore, they're airing it now, even though it would have been better to air it after the season's over.
Yeah, but they aired it. I don't know if it was last week they aired something. I don't remember it being a Grubhub commercial. And it had Michael in that too.
Well, so, maybe the network needs to make those agreements, because if we really were spoiled the winner, then that is pretty bad. I mean, it almost is even worse than when they picked the MasterChef Junior winner based on factors that didn't have to do with their cooking.
Yeah, I don't know. I think we need to wrap it up, though. So
go ahead, Safi. Wrap it up. Say bye-bye.
If you like this video, press the like button. And if you'd like to become one of our subscribers, welcome. Come on down.
Safi, why don't you go get some brie cheese?
I don't have any brie cheese. I was going to get a little bit of ice cream.
Why? Are you racist against brie cheese?
We don't have any brie cheese.
What kind of cheese do you like and don't like?
I like brie cheese, actually.
Oh.
You're weird.
Well, I really hate...
My mom had that. She served it all the time.
I bet she did. But I don't think brie cheese was alive. Or wait,
Marco,
was she alive when your mom
brie
was
is
around?
A French cheese.
Oh, yeah,
it's been
she
around
was.
for probably hundreds of years.
No,
Get over yourself.
Brie cheese has not been around for hundreds of years. She has been around for 30 years.
You don't know what you're talking about. Just be quiet.
Safi, remember though, I don't like blue cheese. And you know what happened recently? Speaking of fast food, we went to Longhorn Steakhouse, which is really, really good. And I got a Caesar salad. And I don't know, I guess you automatically get a certain type. I wanted ranch, obviously. Ranch is the best dressing. And they gave me blue cheese dressing, and it was my first time having it. It was so incredibly overpowering.
Oh, yeah.
And I really did not like it.
Well, I remember an episode of MasterChef where you're supposed to cook children a snack or something, and somebody decided to serve blue cheese on a cheese sandwich or a cheeseburger or something. And
they had to cook children?
It's really old, but anyway. And these judges that said, well, why would you use blue cheese? That's a very strong, harsh cheese. Well, my mom used it to me all the time.
I remember that. That was a big mistake.
That was a very big mistake.
I wish I could remember where exactly it was in, though, since... Anyways.
Goodbye.
Bye.